Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to perform a CV axle replacement on this 2012 Toyota Avalon. Stay tuned guys. Now we're proceeding to remove the wheel so we can have access to the CV axle. But before that, make sure you have a jack and a jack stand. With this jack, you're gonna raise up the vehicle to where you have enough space to remove the tire, and also make sure you put a jack stand under the vehicle for your safety. Next step, we're going to remove that axle nut. We're gonna use a special tool here. This is a 30mm 12-point socket for the axle nut. Now we're going to unscrew the axle nut one full turn, and we're gonna use some lubricant to lubricate the part and make sure the part comes out pretty smooth. Always be careful when removing this axle nut. You can damage it or strip it, and it's gonna be very hard for you to get it out or get the part out. Okay guys, so we finally removed the axle nut. This original axle nut is a 30mm with the 12-point socket that you're going to use to remove it. And for the new part, it comes with a different size. You're gonna use a 32mm socket. Now we're going to turn the wheel to the right so we can have more space to work on this CV axle. So there's two ways to actually get this CV axle out, is to remove the ball joint from the main nut itself, or with these three nuts, it has one bolt and two nuts. To remove the ball joint from the control arm, we're gonna use a 17mm socket. This is the one. We're going to remove this ball joint of the control arm. So now we're going to deattach the ball joint from the control arm. I'm gonna use a tool like this. It's like a flathead. You're gonna have to put pressure. Just apply pressure on the lower control arm. Keep applying pressure until you get the control arm of the ball joint. Also, you can always use the jack to raise a little bit the disc rotors so that can get some pressure off the control arm and the ball joint. I finally detached the two parts, the ball joint and the controller. Now we're gonna have access, more space to hit the CV axle and get the CV axle out. We finally got the CV axle out from the disc router. The next step is gonna be, we're going to get under the vehicle and remove a 14mm bolt that's going to be on this support that's holding the CV axle in place. As you can see, guys, that's the 14mm bolt that needs to be removed so we can get the CV axle out. And also it has a snap ring that you need to also remove from the support itself. It looks like we're gonna need some pliers here. So I'm going through my tool bag and see if I can have a good plier or something so I can remove this snap ring off the support. I'm gonna use this channel log to get to the snap ring and remove it from the support. You can always use a regular pliers, but this is what I have now, so we're going to use that. Once we get this snap ring out, we're gonna unscrew the 14mm bolt. There you go, guys. So we finally got it out. Okay then, so now we're going to extract the CV axle. It's gonna come out first from the transmission and then from this support shaft. We're gonna extract it now. That way we can replace it with the new part. It's coming out. This is a long port CV axle on the right side. There you go, guys. We finally got it out. This is a huge CV axle. The right side on this Toyota Avalon. Now we're gonna bring the new one so we can compare both of these CV axles. Make sure it's the right fit for the vehicle. Okay guys, so I got the two CV axles right next to each other. It looks like they both the same. You know, just making sure it's the right fit for this vehicle. I'm also trying to lubricate the thread on the CV axle, the front end and the back end. I would like to pretty much use lubricant for all these parts. You know, you don't want to struggle. Now it's finally time to install this new CV axle on our Toyota Avalon. See guys, you have to be very, very patient. In order to put this part back, you have to get it through the support first, and then make sure it's very well inside the transmission as well. You don't want to leave it halfway. Now it's time to put back the snap ring back into the support. This is pretty much like a safety for the CV axle. So they use the snap ring to make sure the CV axle doesn't get out of the support. Alright guys, so the snap ring is finally back in place to secure our CV axle. Now we're gonna get our CV axle through the wheel spindle. And we're also going to use the CV axle nut to secure it in place while we work under the vehicle, to make sure that all the components that we have removed are back in place. It's always good guys to double check on your work, because especially when working with suspension parts, this is the safety of your customer, and you don't want to make any mistake while fixing any suspension on a vehicle. Now we're gonna go under the vehicle, and we're gonna make sure that everything is well done. Guys, so we're finalizing our visual inspection of our work. Everything looks good. So now we're moving back to the wheel spindle and finalizing, readjusting everything that we removed. Okay guys, so the bolts are already inside the control arm, but it looks like we're gonna need the jack so we can lift up the spindle. Finally, guys, the 3 bolts are in place now. The control arm and the ball joint. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna make sure those 3 bolts are gonna be tight and secure. We're gonna tighten them up, and then we're gonna continue with the process and making sure that everything that we've done, it's well done. Now we're gonna use the 32mm socket to tighten up the CV axle nut. This is it. This is the 32mm. So when we purchased the new port, it came with a different size of nut. That's why we had to get 2 different tools for this job. So you want to make sure it's gonna be tight and secure. So now we're going to put the wheel back. Make sure the wheel, all the lock nuts are gonna be pretty tight and secure. Once you guys do that, you gotta make sure that you remove the jack stand and the jack itself. And then after that, you're gonna have to double check on these lock nuts to make sure it's tight. We are finalizing this CV axle replacement on this 2012 Toyota Avalon. If you do like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, guys, for watching.